What kind of images does the phrase saltwater fly fishing conjure up for you? Almost certainly you'll picture a tropical paradise with azure blue skies and warm, crystal clear waters lapping palm fringe beaches. Bone fishing in the Bahamas perhaps. Hold it nice and tightly. Maybe jumping baby tarpon amongst the mangroves.
Oh, what a beauty.
How about ballistic barracuda?
Oh, how about that? Oh, jeez.
Then again, you might be dreaming about a rough, tough Jack Crevalle on your 8-weight. Or, for the masochists amongst you, sight casting for hyper-nervous permit might be the ultimate saltwater fly fishing experience. But what happens when that holiday of a lifetime is over?
Do you put away all that expensive fly tackle, or do you try to find some fishing closer to home?
In this film, we'll be looking at some of the opportunities for the UK saltwater fly rodder. We think you'll be amazed at the sport that's available for those wishing to try fly fishing with a pinch of salt.
I'm standing on a rocky ledge at the base of a 60-foot cliff and fishing into about 10 feet of water, I suppose. I'm using my 7-weight trout rod and a floating line because the fish will be right at the surface. Later on in the day you might use a sink tip or even a sinking line, I suppose, it got lighter. Because of the cliff behind me, there's no room for much of a back cast, but anyway, the fish are close in, so it's not a problem really. To get the fly to move through the water, I'm just flicking it out and drawing it back with the sideways movement of the rod, and I've got a fixed length of line out all the time. This means as soon as I get a fish, I can play it straight off the reel. Oh, I'm in! That was quick, it feels like a decent fish as well. I'm not sure what it is yet, but it's certainly going well. Oh, it's a scad. These fish often feed in the dark. Up you come. We're going to go fishing for these little buggers tonight. Typical scad or horse mackerel, and in fact they're not members of the mackerel family at all. They're related to the jacks that you get in the tropics, a very small species of jack. There's another one. Looks like a pollock this time. They don't fight as hard as scad. It's only a small pollock. They've got a huge eye for hunting in low light conditions, you know. They're very active at dawn and dusk. When you can catch them right at the surface then. This big underslung mouth helps them to attack the prey from below. Of course, you might think I'm cheating by not using something made of fur and feather, but these little plastic eels are my favourites. Even the slightest movement of the rod and line sets the tail waggling. Oh, I saw that one take. It's a mackerel. Got it in half, pulling out on this little rod. You know, if mackerel grew to £10, I'd fish for nothing else. They're just swimming machines, these things. Look at that narrow tail wrist and the sort of sweep of a tail for giving it the sort of speed. They just swim forever, I think. They haven't got particularly good acceleration, but they can keep going for as long as you like. And little serrated teeth inside the mouth for gripping the prey. Tiny little teeth, like. Once a sprat or something's inside there, it's had it, really. Got all them little finlets along the, just in front of the tail as well. Look, that's for smoothing the flow over its tail. That.
And the eye's not as big as
no, not as big as a scad or a pollock. No.
Because they're daytime feeders mainly.
Yeah. Yeah, they more or less switch on when the sun comes up. Fantastic ripple mark camouflage on the back, haven't they? These things as well. That's for the light coming down through the ripples on the water surface.
That's what, from sort of attack from above, is it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they get things like gannets feeding on them, so that dive bomb them. So they've got to keep out of sight, really. And the amazing iridescence, which is again is a signal, like the scad. It's a signal to other mackerel when they're swimming in a shoal, because they change colour every time they turn, you know.
Now I'm further out on the ledge and I've got a bit more room to cast. Like Mike, I'm using a floating line but a slightly heavier 8-weight outfit. With a longer line I'm able to cover more water, and the stripping basket keeps the line off the rocks.
Oh yes!
Yeah, probably a bass, that.
Yeah, I don't think it's a pollock.
I don't know, you managed to play them without the line on the reel, you know.
Well, it's not a big fish.
Can you get it out? That's the question. Excellent fish. Yeah, well done, Steve.
Little bass.
Lovely thing. Look at
They flare their gills at you.
Yeah.
Very, very careful.
Yeah.
The serrations on the gill feathers.
that. Yeah, they got spines everywhere, haven't they?
And usually once they're hooked, they're off for good. There we go.
Ah.
That's a nice little fish. I'm pleased with that. I'll pop her back.
Okay, mate.